You find the house, lock in your mortgage, and think you're ready to close. But unplanned costs can suddenly drain your bank account. Most buyers and sellers operate under a dangerous assumption. They believe hitting a target down payment or securing an ideal listing price means their financial preparation is finished. That expectation shatters when the real-world expenses of a Massachusetts deal arrive. You are immediately hit with a barrage of unrecoverable upfront fees, inspections, earnest money deposits, appraisal fees, and state excise taxes. The challenge is that a real estate transaction demands cash in staggered, specific bursts, weeks or even months before anyone actually reaches the closing table. If you ignore this timeline, the consequences are immediate. We regularly see buyers forced to exhaust their emergency reserves early, or sellers having to abandon a profitable deal because they hit a temporary cash flow crunch. To survive a move without panic, you need to map out your exact liquidity timeline from day one, rather than just stockpiling a single lump sum and hoping it covers the gaps. This flowchart tracks specific timelines, comparing cash outflows for buyers on the left and sellers on the right. Phase 1 is the upfront liquidity drain, the money you need immediately after deciding to move, long before a contract is finalized. For buyers, the first hit is the inspection. Spending $300 to $600 in non-refundable cash is the only way to identify hidden structural defects, but if the deal falls through, that money is gone. Next is the earnest money. A 1 to 3% deposit proves you are serious enough to secure the contract, but it keeps that liquid capital tied up for 30 to 60 days while the bank processes the loan. On the seller side, upfront drain comes from pre-sale preparation. Investing in professional staging and repairs helps maximize the final sale price, but requires heavy cash burn early in the process, long before the transaction closes and proceeds become available. Phase 1 demands raw, liquid cash. These early costs cannot be rolled into a mortgage or deducted from future profits at the start. As we move to Phase 2, we reach the closing table. These are the mandatory fees required to finalize the legal transfer of the property. Buyers face closing costs typically ranging from 2 to 5% of the purchase price. These cover appraisals, loan origination, title insurance, and recording fees, which substantially increases the actual cash-to-close requirement. For sellers, the largest line item is the commission. Compensating the marketers and negotiators takes 6 to 10% off the top, creating a significant financial gap between your listing price and your actual net proceeds. Sellers must also account for the Massachusetts deeds excise tax. The state mandates a rate of $2.28 per $500 of the sale price in most counties, or $2.85 in Barnstable. On a $500,000 home sale, this tax results in an immediate, mandatory subtraction of $2,280 from your profits. Phase 2 fees turn theoretical gross listing numbers into the stark, finalized net realities you have to live with. Finally, we reach Phase 3, post-closing. These are the logistical expenses that trigger the moment the keys change hands. Buyers immediately face utility setup deposits, unexpected repairs, and new HOA fees. These costs quickly drain the cash left over after closing. The highest financial friction hits the simultaneous mover. If you are buying and selling at the same time, you absorb cost elements from both sides of the timeline at once. This overlap includes professional movers, which average $1,700 or more. When you add in bridge loan interest or the cost of paying for 2 homes during a transition, the expenses multiply. The physical move is an expensive event, separate from the real estate deal itself, requiring its own dedicated cash flow management. Real estate costs in Massachusetts appear at specific, demanding intervals. Success requires managing your liquidity for each phase, rather than just qualifying for a loan. To help you prepare, we use this capital readiness strategy to allocate funds based on your specific role in the market. If you are a first-time buyer, keep $2,000 to $5,000 liquid and separate from your down payment. This ensures you can cover initial inspections and appraisals without stress. Sellers should calculate their true net sheet by deducting 6 to 10% in selling fees immediately. This ensures you know your actual purchasing power before you make offers on a new home. For simultaneous movers, rigorously map out your logistical overlap costs. Tracking these timelines ensures that bridge loan fees and storage rentals do not blindside your moving budget. Mapping out this chronological timeline removes the guesswork. When you anticipate these expenses before they hit, you protect your budget and negotiate your next move from a position of financial strength.